In the dead of night, when the city lights fade and the mist begins to creep along the outskirts of Chicago, there's one particular road that most people prefer to avoid. Not because of potholes, not because of sharp curves, but because of something that defies reason. Anyone who drives there past midnight tends to report the same disturbing event. A lone figure appears on the side of the road, almost like a shadow carved into the fog. She's a young blonde woman, delicate and tragic in appearance, wearing a vintage ball gown straight out of another era, a white satin dress, dainty shoes, a lost and distant gaze. She doesn't say much. She simply lifts her hands slowly, asking for a ride, as if she's trying to get back somewhere or escape from something she can't name anymore. Those brave enough to stop say she quietly slides into the back seat with a faint smile and a voice as thin as air. She gives an address, always the same, and the driver, out of instinct or kindness, begins to drive. During the ride, she barely speaks. She just sits there, staring out the window, as if she's reliving silent memories. The atmosphere inside the car changes. The temperature drops, the silence grows heavier, and sometimes the radio begins to flicker with static, as if something beyond is trying to reach through. But the most unsettling part isn't any of that. What truly haunts the drivers happens when the car nears Resurrection Cemetery, a place known not just for names carved in stone, but for the whispers that follow those who pass. At that exact moment, right when the iron gates of the cemetery come into view, shadowed by ancient trees, the girl vanishes. No sound, no warning. She doesn't open the door, doesn't say goodbye. She's just gone. What's left behind is an empty seat, a faint scent of old flowers, and a cold sensation that clings to the skin. Most people feel a wave of fear first, followed by an overwhelming need to make sense of what just happened. And that's when they discover the most chilling part of the story. The girl's description perfectly matches Mary Bregovi, a young woman who reportedly attended a dance in the 1930s, argued with her date, and left on foot, only to be struck down by a tragic accident. Since then, year after year, the sightings continue. Same stretch of road, same young woman, always disappearing in front of the cemetery that now holds her name in stone. But there's something even stranger. Those who dig deeper uncover tiny inconsistencies between each account: a handkerchief in her hands, a soft melody hummed under her breath, a whisper of farewell. And that raises a disturbing question. Is she trying to say something? Maybe Mary isn't just lost. Maybe she's trapped between two worlds. And if that's the case, why does she keep repeating the same path every single night, as if searching for a door that never opens? One thing's for sure. If you ever find yourself driving along a lonely road in Chicago and you see a young blonde girl raising her hand, think twice before stopping. Because sometimes giving a ride doesn't mean taking someone home. It means stepping into a story that never. Somewhere deep in the silent woods of Oklahoma, where the trees grow older than memory and the wind whispers secrets no one dares repeat, there is a legend that refuses to fade. Locals speak of it in hushed tones, their eyes flicking toward the tree line, as if afraid something might be listening. It's not just a tale told to scare curious campers or wide-eyed tourists. This is different. This is personal. The story begins when the last light of day fades and the sky bleeds orange behind a curtain of tangled branches. That's when they say he comes. Not running, not charging, just watching. Standing completely still between the trunks, half hidden by fog, with the towering frame of a man, but crowned with antlers and a face that doesn't belong in this world. They call him the Deer Man, a creature unlike anything known to science or storybooks. His body is lean, stretched tall like the trees themselves, but it's his face, long, silent, and still, that leaves people breathless. Some who've seen him say his eyes glow faintly, like coals smoldering beneath ash. Others swear they saw no eyes at all, just dark, hollow shapes that followed them through the forest, no matter where they ran. Most sightings happen when someone's alone, a hunter separated from his group, a hiker who wandered too far from the trail, or a camper stepping away from the fire to investigate a strange sound in the brush. That's when the woods change. Birds go quiet, wind stops, and suddenly there's this feeling, like you're not just being watched but studied. The strangest part? He never attacks, never chases, never speaks. He just stares, unmoving, unblinking. And it's that silence, that unnatural stillness, that truly gets under your skin. Some who've locked eyes with him claim they couldn't move, like their body forgot how to breathe. Others say they heard faint whispers, not in the air, but inside their own mind, echoes of old words in a language they didn't recognize. And when it's over, when they finally break away and rush back to their group, they're never the same. Quiet, distracted, like a part of them stayed behind. Some locals believe the deer man is a guardian, a protector of the land, punishing those who disrespect the forest. But others say he's something older, a cursed soul, maybe a shaman from centuries past, betrayed and bound to the woods, now transformed into something no longer human. According to tribal stories passed down in whispers, there was once a medicine man who broke a sacred law, seeking powers no one was meant to hold. When nature answered, it didn't forgive. It changed him, reshaped his body into a warning. Half man, half beast, forever trapped between the living and the forgotten. And now, whenever someone sees the deer man, they say it means you've stepped too far. Crossed a line you didn't know was there. That's why the old hunters never go out alone. Why campers stay close to the fire. And why, in Oklahoma, when fog starts rolling through the trees and shadows stretch long across the ground, no one dares look too deep into the forest. Because if you see him, if you lock eyes with the deer man, you don't just witness the legend. You become part of it. In the heart of Long Island, nestled among quiet trees and still waters, there lies a lake that locals speak of in whispers, Lake Ronkonkoma. At first glance, it looks peaceful, almost postcard perfect, especially during golden summer afternoons. But beneath its calm surface, something ancient stirs. The air around it carries a weight, a silence that feels just a little too still, a breeze that chills even under the sun. And for generations, the people who live near its shores have told the same haunting story. Not one meant to frighten children, but a tale wrapped in sorrow, love, and something far more mysterious. They call her the Bride of Lake Ronkonkoma, a woman lost to time, yet never truly gone. Long ago, before modern roads and vacation homes dotted the landscape, this land belonged to native tribes. And among them, a young woman lived, strong, graceful, and filled with a heart that longed for something beyond her world. She fell in love with a settler, a man from another life entirely. Their connection was deep and real, but forbidden by both of their worlds. Every meeting had to be hidden, every letter secret, every glance stolen like a crime. When their love was discovered, the divide between their people became a wall too high to climb. Her family forbade the relationship. His turned away in silence. And so, with her heart shattered and her dreams collapsing like waves against stone, the young woman walked into the lake, not to swim, not to escape, but to disappear, consumed by the one place that had always reflected her sorrow back at her. Since that day, the lake has never been the same. Locals say that once a year, like clockwork, a man vanishes beneath the surface, pulled under in calm weather, with no warning, no splash, no cry for help. They say it's her, the bride, searching, year after year, for the one who promised to be by her side or punishing strangers in his place. Witnesses describe a pale figure standing near the edge of the water, dressed in a long, flowing white gown that moves even when there's no wind. Her face is soft, yet unreadable, like a dream that turns cold just before you wake. And when you see her, you feel something deep in your chest. Not fear exactly, but a pull, like a memory you never lived, calling you closer to the shore. Some say it's grief that binds her to the lake. Others believe it's vengeance. But the pattern is undeniable. One man, every year, disappearing in waters barely deep enough to drown in. No signs, no answers, just loss. Rescue teams find nothing. Locals grow quiet when the date approaches, and anyone who visits the lake too close to the waterline at dusk might see something in the ripples, a reflection that doesn't belong to them. A veil drifting across the surface, eyes that watch from just below. That's why the people of Ronkonkoma don't swim alone, why they avoid the water once the sun starts to set, and why, if you ever find yourself near that lake, standing in the silence, and you feel a chill rise from the earth beneath your feet, you should take a step back, because she's still there, waiting in white, just beneath the surface, reaching for the next soul to keep her company beneath the waves.